If you ever wanted to know what it looks like when the universe decides to hit the delete key on a lifetime of luxury, look no further than the current itinerary of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Imagine waking up on your 66th birthday, expecting a nice slice of lemon drizzle cake and perhaps a polite telegram from the king, only to be greeted by a squad of detectives and an invitation to spend 11 hours in a room that definitely does not have gold-plated taps. We are currently witnessing a fall from grace so vertical it would give a professional skydiver vertigo. Just 1 week after his shock arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office, the man formerly known as the Duke of York has been dealt the ultimate first world blow. He has been officially banned from his favourite hobby. No more clip-clopping through the royal greenery. The horses have been off limits, the smile has been mothballed, and the highness has been replaced by a suspect status that even a bespoke Savile Row suit cannot hide. We are peeling back the damp curtains of Wood Farm to see what life looks like when the palace doors are locked, the staff are calling you sir, and even the ponies are staying in the stable. Quick favour, if you are loving this, hit that subscribe button. Over 92% of viewers haven't yet. It is free, takes a second and means the world to us. Thank you if you did. Now back to the show. Let us talk about the latest indignity to hit the Sandringham estate. For Andrew, horse riding was not just a hobby, it was a psychological fortress. It was the one time he could look down on the rest of the world, literally, while wearing a Barber jacket and pretending the last 5 years of Epstein-related headlines were just a bad dream. But as of this week, that fortress has been breached. Reports have surfaced that Andrew has been ordered to stay out of the saddle. Why? Because, quite frankly, the optics are atrocious. A source told The Sun that seeing Andrew grinning and smiling on a horse while under police investigation is considered a bad look. It is the PR equivalent of someone wearing a not guilty t-shirt to their own arraignment. The analogy here is like a man whose house is currently being searched by the FBI, deciding it is the perfect time to host a loud celebratory garden party with a bouncy castle. It just does not sit right. The palace, and more specifically, the king's advisors, know that every photograph of a happy Andrew is a guided missile aimed at the monarchy's remaining credibility. So, the order has come down. No riding. He is now effectively grounded, like a teenager who stayed up past curfew, except his curfew involves a common law offence that carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. One has to wonder, with the horses off limits and the golf courses feeling a bit awkward, what on earth is he doing with his time? One can only assume he is spending a lot of time rearranging those famous teddy bears.
About the disgraced former prince, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He's now reportedly been banned from horse riding following his arrest. Royal aides fear that the former Duke of York being photographed on horseback would be a bad look while he remains under police investigation. Look, I tend to agree with that. But prior to his arrest, it was common to see Andrew riding around Windsor Estate, but not anymore, Esther.
Yes, the former prince is basically...
To understand the sheer level of the climb down, you have to look at where Andrew is currently holed up. Since his release under investigation last Thursday night, he has been hiding out at Wood Farm. Now do not get me wrong, Wood Farm is a lovely historic red brick farmhouse. It was the peaceful sanctuary of the late Prince Philip, but for a man who spent decades rattling around the 30 rooms of Royal Lodge with an army of servants, Wood Farm feels like a particularly well decorated shoebox. The transition from a mansion to a farmhouse is not just a change of scenery, it is a change of status. At Royal Lodge, he was the master of a mini kingdom. At Wood Farm, he is a man in the middle of a Norfolk field waiting for the results of a police investigation. He is reportedly shell-shocked and has not been seen in public since he was driven away from the police station after 11 hours of questioning. The silence from Wood Farm is deafening. There are no visitors, no celebratory birthday dinners, and definitely no Duke-level catering. It is a broke life in the sense that while he still has a roof over his head, the royalty has been completely sucked out of the room. He is currently waiting for Marsh Farm to be renovated, but even that is a significant downgrade from the luxury he feels he is entitled to.
He's basically in royal prison. I mean, the last step is really to lock him up in the Tower of London. And, you know, to put it bluntly, the public sees the Yorkses, so the former Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, as a pair of sucking leeches that were in any sort of capacity of royal family roles just to basically make money for themselves. And it's not a surprise that Prince Philip, after the former Prince Andrew's divorce from Sarah Ferguson, described her as odd and pointless and banned her from being seen with the royal family on public engagements. And the royal family has basically decided to say to Prince Andrew, well, the former Prince Andrew, without all but banishing him to the Middle East, that you have put this family in in such disrepute that you will take everything that we're giving you. You are lucky we're providing your home. You will collaborate and cooperate and with the police, so much so that you have police basically storm the king's private property in Norfolk to arrest the former Prince Andrew, which he obviously would have known about.
Now, let us get into the why of it all. This arrest was not just a formality, it was a tactical strike. The charged misconduct in public office is a serious beast. The authorities are looking into his decade as a UK trade envoy, specifically his legendary relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. We are talking about allegations that he treated his taxpayer-funded missions like a private intelligence network, allegedly sharing sensitive reports with a man who was, at the time, a convicted sex offender. This is the humiliating part that the horses cannot fix. The police search of Royal Lodge and Wood Farm has reportedly been exhaustive. They are looking for the paper trail, the emails, the documents, the evidence that Andrew used his public office for private gain or the gain of a billionaire associate. For years, he thought he was untouchable because he was the Queen's second son. But in 2006, the law has caught up with the lineage. The King's statement that the law must take its course was the sound of the royal drawbridge being raised while Andrew was still on the outside. He is no longer a prince protected by the firm. He is a private citizen named Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, who is having his life forensically examined by Thames Valley Police.
And the last thing that the royal family wants is pictures of the former Prince Andrew looking pleased with himself and happy and riding horses and living la vida loca, when there are real questions about not just his association with Jeffrey Epstein, but how far this really goes, because we know that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has lied to the public before in his disastrous Newsnight interview with Emily Maitlis, and so no one can take his word for it. So it is now.
If you want to know how bad things are, look at King Charles III. The king is reportedly not finished with his brother, and the ban on horse riding is likely just the beginning of a total unpersoning of the York brand. The king did not even pre-warn Andrew about the arrest. Imagine that level of frostiness. Your own brother, the monarch, lets the police knock on your door at 8 AM on your birthday without so much as a good luck text message. Charles is playing a very long game here. By allowing the police to take the lead, he is decoupling the monarchy from Andrew's personal legal woes. He is essentially saying, the office of the king supports the law. The individual Andrew must answer to it. This distance is what makes Andrew's new life so humiliating. He has no champion at the palace. He has no mummy to go to for a private audience and a sympathetic ear. He has a king who views him as a stain that needs to be scrubbed out for the institution to survive. The humiliation is not just the arrest, it is the realization that he is entirely expendable.
Wound that is the Yorkses.
And they absolutely must. I mean, if they want to win back any kind of support or move forward as a modern monarchy, they absolutely need to be transparent and handle this the right way. The Speaker of the UK's House of Commons has revealed that he told police he believed that Peter Mandelson was a possible flight risk ahead of his arrest. So we know that, of course, Peter Mandelson was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office, and he's facing accusations himself of leaking information.
And what of the rest of the family? Sarah Ferguson, the woman who has stood by him through Toegate and Cash for Access, is reportedly sofa surfing on a global scale. She has not been seen at Wood Farm. She is currently trying to figure out how to make money without the royal prefix, while their daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, are reportedly broken by the catastrophe. The humiliating life of Andrew is a family tragedy. His daughters are watching their father's legacy be reduced to a police file, and their own roles in the royal family are being questioned by the government. The reported tears and turmoil in the York household are the human cost of a man who refused to show remorse. Even now, at Wood Farm, Andrew is reportedly grumbling about car parking and horse riding, rather than expressing regret for the damage he has inflicted on his children's futures. It is a bovine lack of awareness that makes the public and the palace even more determined to see him removed from the line of succession once and for all. As we look toward the rest of 2026, the new humiliating life of Andrew is only going to get more restrictive. The police investigation is ongoing, and the government is already drafting the legislation to strip him of his remaining titles. He is a man in a waiting room, and the door to his old life has been permanently locked. The horse riding ban is a symbol of his new reality. He is a man who must remain invisible because his presence is an insult to the public's sense of justice. He will spend his days at Wood Farm, or eventually Marsh Farm, living a life of quiet, taxpayer-funded exile, knowing that every time he dares to grin and smile, the world will remind him of the victims he refused to acknowledge. The prince is dead, the suspect is very much alive, and he is finding out that a red brick farmhouse in Norfolk can be just as much of a prison as a cell in Aylsham. The humiliation is total, and for the man who once thought he was the Queen's favourite, the silence of Sandringham is the loudest verdict of all. Thank you for watching.